Okay. Okie dokie. Hey, how y'all doing? Alive and alert on the north side of the dirt. It is Friday, and if I'm here and Theo's here, this must be Friday Vibin. And if you are in the chat, you can see who we got with us for a live discussion, none other than the Joseph Illidge. What's going on, sir?
It's Friday. I made it. We made it. Congratulations, everyone.
Just got paid.
Still busy.
Listen,
okay.
world crazy. Every Friday you make it to, I'm like, I did it again.
Yes.
Yes. Hey. And that is why I say alive and alert on
That's
the
it.
north side of the dirt. Because you
That's
don't
it.
want to be on the south side of the dirt. You know?
No, listen, I was asking, did I want to be called Papa or Grandpa by my granddaughter? I'm Grandpa. You got a pawpaw. This right here, this grandpa. This good enough for my granddaddy. That's it's good enough for me.
I'm the uncle. When it comes to comics, I'm either Uncle Joe or Big Brother Joe. So, you know, if I get to the point where I'm like a grand uncle or something like that, well, God bless. But right now, I'm uncle.
Well, Uncle Joe, we glad you here. And we glad to have partaken of what you presented to us this week here yonder. Bloodletter. Lord Jesus. Lord.
Listen.
Can I set it up? Can I set it up for the people that don't know what's happening and ain't watched Theo's video?
Don't say that thing on them. Don't say
First of all, everybody should be up on what this is, but for the people in the cheap seats, let them know.
Okay, so then if you in here, you better know what's going on, or
that's right.
You probably need somewhere else. Kamoyo King is in here, president of Black Panther fan group. He said, "How you doing, Mr. Illidge?"
Oh, tell him I said hello.
You just did.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Because Camille King is all on Twitter, eyes everywhere. So I am honored that that he's here. So this can all happen in real time now.
Let's go.
The Black Panther fan group is
here. Boy, listen. The Wakandans have come. Thank you so much. I'm honored. So, you know, we got to deliver with the real talk tonight, because after we're done, I think it's fair to say I should be on that list to take over the next Black Panther series, right? I think we can agree. I think we can agree, right? Like, if there was any doubt, I'd like to think that this week we've erased that. Because we did some real talk last time.
I like him.
Listen.
Yes, sir.
Listen.
Yeah, it's Friday. Y'all feel that energy? Y'all feel that in the air, that electricity? Yeah. It's Friday. Mr. Joseph Illidge is in the building. We just to get into it. Yeah, come on now. Daryl, go ahead and set that daggone thing on up. Go ahead now.
Okay. All right. Look here. Tasha Thornwall.
Yes.
She is on a mission, and I feel like, I'm a Spawn fan, but I feel like Al kind of got it coming.
You see? It's like that's the thing, right? It's that whole thing where it's like, I don't necessarily agree with you, but I understand.
You know, like,
I don't want you to kill my dude, but I get why you want to kill him.
you know what I'm hearing in the back of my brain, fellas? I'm hearing Carl Carlton in the back of my mind when I'm thinking about how he showed up in the comic book, the splash page, if you will. I'm hearing Bad Mama Jamma playing in the back of my mind. I'm like, ooh.
Listen, you gotta understand, like, as we talk about it, it's just like, it's the history, man. It's the history those two have. right? And the thing is, like, you talk about Spawn. Like, I remember when Image Comics emerged. I bought Spawn #1 at my local comic shop, and I remember reading that and being like, okay, I've never quite read a comic like this, because I feel like this is the meanest universe I've ever read, right? Like, people do bad things in this place and get away with it again and again and again. So when you're talking about, well, who's going to dispense justice, like, you need someone like Spawn. And when the first wave of figures came out, like, somewhere in my basement, there's a Generation 1 Al Simmons, but in the CIA outfit, the gray camo with the helmet and the visor. I got that somewhere in the basement, a box, and I think I have a Generation 1 medieval Spawn. Right? But like, so
they had a lot less articulation. But
at that time, they were the best. They were the standard. Stuff was much worse, right? Like, Todd Toys, I feel like, actually got everyone to level up, right? And then he continued to level up, right? So, but all to say, like, the spy genre is one of my things. So I was definitely into CIA Al Simmons, right? So when my co-writer Tim Seeley and I were, talking about this, and you got to remember, Tim Seeley wrote Grayson, the series in which Nightwing like became a super spy for this organization called Spiral. So Tim's got his chops in the spy stuff as well as the magic stuff. He wrote Hellblazer, he wrote Revival, which is now a sci-fi series, all that stuff. So it was like, okay, if we're gonna make this matter, then let's go back before he was Spawn, when he was basically the John Wick, right? He was the guy who was the myth that any threat you have, you send him, he erases it, right? And so we figured if we could go back to then and have Tasha Thornwall's conflict with him begin then that has that's personal, that has a depth to it, right? And, one of the things that, you really think about with her is kind of like, it's like, let's say you're reading a Wolverine comic, right? And Wolverine's got to fight like 50 guys. And Wolverine just like lays waste. Let's say he let 3 of them live and 47 of them get murdered, right? Wolverine leaves the room. No one ever stays in the room to figure out what happened to those 3 guys. How did their lives get changed because Wolverine shish kebabbed them and let them live? Right? Every one of those people has a story. So Tasha Thornwall is part of this big history of collateral damage that Al Simmons built for years. But you never think the collateral damage is going to come back.
By the way, I caught that Hellfire reference. I just want you to know that I caught that Hellfire reference you just used with Wolverine.
Listen, Uncanny X-Men 133. Do we understand? Do we understand our history? The iconic issues? So that's the thing.
Excuse me, Mr. Illidge. Y'all see what we just did? Stop trying me and Daryl with stuff. Stop trying me and Daryl with stuff. You see how I'm sitting here listening to what and he just say something. I'm like, yeah, I caught that reference. You ain't slick.
Listen,
stop trying us.
The telepathy. The telepathy. So that's it, And I was actually inspired by an issue of a Vertigo book that Grant Morrison did called The Invisibles. And in the first storyline, the leader of the Invisibles had shot this shoulder and shot one of his legs off. And in issue 5, they showed you what happened to that guy, how he's got to go back home to his wife. His marriage falls apart because he can't make any money no more. He's only got one leg. Right? And just like how his entire life deteriorates because he had a run-in with King Mob, right? So that's the thing. It's like Tasha Thornwall is the collateral damage that comes back to kick your ass. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
well, not only did he, he ruined her career, and you know what I'm saying, she couldn't do what she normally did for a living. And then on top of that, she was the original Mark.
Well, here's the thing. Like, so we have the flashback that is in Haiti, right? Because Tasha Thornwall's Haitian and South American, right? And so, yeah, she's Haitian and South American. And because she's of Haitian heritage, she was chosen for this mission, right? To kind of go in and protect this politician who was a presidential candidate to take, to lead Haiti like into like a new age, right? That was the assignment. So she was part of a CIA division called Incision, which is like a nation building division, which is we go there and we protect the government from basically coups, right? We protect certain people from like uprisings, right? So they go in there to protect dude. She's undercover. She falls in love with him. And what happens is the mission changes. And the bosses say, well, we actually don't want him to win. We want the other guy who's trying to pull off the coup to win. And Tasha and her group is like, they're like, nope. They're like, we're getting this dude out of here now, because if we don't get him out of here, he's going to die. And we didn't do that's not part of our job. And we can't then just leave him, right? But then what happens? Here comes Al Simmons, because Al Simmons follows orders and he's higher level. He's the guy that CIA agents don't want to meet, right? So he comes in. Exactly. He's the guy, right? And so he does his job because he's a soldier, and he cleans house, man, starting with the candidate.
The fact that they thought, excuse me, the fact that they thought it was another team and it was just one person says a lot. I'm like, it's just him. Ain't nobody, it's just one person.
just the one guy, man, the one guy. And so it's like candidate first, team second, which was supposed to include Tasha Thornwall, but then she did a 1 second move and managed to distract dude and get herself out of his sight. Now he's a thorough guy, and she's out there alive. That's a problem. Okay, so I have to deal with that. How does he deal with that? He says, okay, we're going to use the media, and we're going to drop that not only was there an undercover CIA operation, but that this woman who's been living among all of y'all for a year was the CIA operative, right? So basically, if you know your recent history, like he pulled a Jessica Plame, right? What Vice President Dick Cheney did with Agent Jessica Plame, where he was like, yeah, let's just expose her. And I think at that time she might have been in Russia or something like that, right? So when you're an agent and you get exposed, everyone's your enemy. Nowhere is safe. Yeah? So Tasha had to go underground. And that was 10 years ago. And now and so we're talking about actually a third of her life. Tasha's like in her early 30s in my mind. So that's like a third of her life. Yeah. So think about that. A third of your life, you living off grid. Yeah. And you're talking about the Spawn universe.
Woman,
black woman. And you talking about this is
my goodness.
This is a Spawn universe, man. The things that live in the shadows, the things that are around the corner, you don't even understand. And so to survive, she had to learn magic, and like wicked magic. And and she had to learn it the hard way. Like
basically a demon hunter.
She, it's interesting because, she's a mercenary. So she does different jobs for different reasons, and she operates by her own philosophy. So she could be going after a demon one week, and she could be going after an angel the next week.
I'm gonna tell you who she reminds me. I look, and I'm not saying she reminds me of, but if I looked at, just all, I'm like, okay, Dr. Occult, Constantine.
Yeah. Oh, definitely Constantine is part of the mood. He's part of the mood board.
To Daryl's point, the attitude, the Dean Winchester. So it's like,
yeah, from Supernatural.
Yeah, she's a woman. She's a woman. So it's like she's like, she ain't the one. Like, she don't mind risking it all to do what she gonna do. And she did what the scene where the incantation, the tattoo, and she's like, I'm like, oh, that, see, okay, see, so yeah, you're not wrapped tight. There's something wrong with you because you're doing this to yourself, and it don't look like it feel good. You ain't acting like it feel good. You look like you're going through something. So,
well, listen, magic, magic has a price, right? To be able to access these higher powers, to be able to create protection spells, because Tasha's very first encounter and earlier encounters with like mystical beings and creatures went bad, right? And that's the beginning of her beginning to understand that her definition of the world is actually very small. Like, what the world really is vast, full of things that she doesn't understand and doesn't know the names of, right? And so when you're dealing with magic, you have to give of yourself. When you're dealing with power in general, right? Power, to some degree, you have to make yourself vulnerable so you can acquire the knowledge, so you can acquire the gifts, right? And so the type of magic that she deals with requires blood. Yeah. So either she has to give of her blood, or she has to receive the protective spell in the form of a tattoo, which is, of course, going to cut her skin, right? So there's a shot in the book where you see the back of her and she just got a new one. That mark is redder than the other ones, right? Because that's new. Like, the skin has just been cut. Blood is flowing. The other ones are darker because they're older, right? But we ain't talking no henna treatment here. This is in the skin. This is permanent. You understand? But that's the thing. It's like, yo, you coming at her? She's like, listen, I got one for you. I'm not the one. I'm not the one you mess with today. I got one for you.
to what you just said, because I said it in the review when she pulled up on Miss Sugar, whatever. I said, now normally the way this goes is when somebody says to the demon, monster, creature, whatever, you want the easy way or the hard way. They always pick the hard way. Oh, no, not this time around. Not this time. Miss Sugar didn't want none of the smoke. She said, no, you good. I'm gonna holler at you later. I was like,
he's on out of here. I'll see you later. And
listen,
so your reputation precedes you, huh?
Listen, like, she's known. You saw when she rolled up and those people were like, Bloodletter. They were like, Bloodletter, Bloodletter, Bloodletter. Like, they know that name. They've never seen her, but they know that name. And so, give you some Spawn history, and this was Tim Seeley. So back in Spawn issue 8, which was written by Alan Moore, Billy Kincaid, who's like the ice cream man serial killer, he gets killed, I think, in maybe Spawn 5.
Billy. Billy.
Right? Spawn 8, the dude goes through the levels of hell. And in one of them, he met a demon called a Cthulhu Metabus who made itself look like Elvis. Right? So Tim was like, well, let's bring another Cthulhu Metabus back, and that one makes himself look like Marilyn Monroe, keeping that theme of those those like mid 20th century, like iconic kind of, you know, people, humans, right? So that was like Tim doing a direct reference to Spawn 8, which is part of the fun, right? You want to go through these, you want to go through the history and pull these moments so that like the hardest of hardcore Spawn fans be like, oh, I know what a Cthulhu Metaboost is, right?
I didn't think about that reference. I didn't even think about that reference.
Yeah, like, listen, I think Tim has all the issues of Spawn. I've gone in and out, but I think he has all the issues. And what I learned recently is from 100 to 200, those issues are really hard to find because like the print runs went down. So it's like you try to find one of those, like you shelling out like 20 a pop or something. But Tim's got all of them. He bought them when they came out. So yeah, that was Tasha basically being like, I'm not one of these people that's just going to come into this ship and you're going to take their soul. Like, I know what you are and you operate at this level of hell, but I'll knock you down to this one. I'll knock you down further than your floor.
Hey, it didn't take no convincing either. She said what she meant. She meant what she said. Old buddy heard her, went on by the business.
That's it. Look, it's like we're done here. Waiter, check, please. We're done here.
That says a lot. That says a lot about her that she not only incapacitated, but got him in at a disadvantage. Ain't this the same guy that defeated Heaven's champion and God and Satan?
You see? So you gotta understand who she has to be to say to herself, okay, I'm gonna kill this dude. Like in the here and now, I'm gonna kill this dude. I'm not trying to kill the past version of him, which was just a man.
Right.
I'm trying to kill this version of him. Now, granted, she's not what she was before, so they operate with the same language, right? The vocabulary of sorcery. Now, of course, she knows that dude's that guy. So her chances are not in her favor, but she does not care. Right? So what this story is going to be is, well, how does she reduce the margin of error? Like, what does she need to close the gap?
Well, that's what I love. The way you opened up the book, the very first couple of pages and everything like that, you know, you see where Al is at in his spawn form and everything like that. To open the book up pretty much there to take readers back. How did we get here? How did we get to this point? Knowing who Spawn is, how did she get to the point where this dude is literally before her on his hands and knees? Like that's the thing. Like, you got me. Like I said, I'm coming back for 2. Definitely. Definitely coming back. I need to know all this right here. All the mother folks I seen on the last page too. Yeah, I'm trying. Yeah.
Listen.
It's 5 issues. It's 5 issues, right?
It's 5. It's 5 issues. Now, if we get more, we're not going to complain because we have this really big kind of like 50 issue plan for her. But this storyline is 5 issues, and she and Spawn are going to mix it up. Like that's happening. That's happening, right?
Okay.
Well, I'm here for it. Anything you had me at Spawn.
I'm gonna come back. I gotta go. I'm gonna throw the challenge flag out. There we go. The challenge flag. It's almost football season. I'm challenging us right now to get on. Get it. Look at here, y'all. Look here. He said 50. I know 5. Damn that 50. Let's aim for the star. The challenge flag is out. Go get the dadgum book. Go tell your friends and everything like that. We say we want some stuff here. I'm not gonna do that. We say we want some stuff. Well, damn it, we got it. Oh, damn it, we hope. Peter got a 9mm and guaranteed Peter. I'm sorry, my bad. I had a flashback. I'm just saying, it's a woman, it's a sister, it's a brother. So we got a sister as the protagonist. Now, come on now. And we got a brother. That's the end. Y'all best go challenge it. Go get the book. Go.
Listen,
Juju.
the way I do it is I don't do it issue by issue. I pre-order an entire series. I just let my retailer know just the whole series. That means every issue I know I automatically got that, right? And it's wild because so issue 1 dropped Wednesday, and today issue 4 was solicited, right? So if you see that cover, you're like, oh, I know what this issue is about, right? And so what we're going to do is, what's the road there? Because to your point, the beginning is the future. Well, we call it now. So let's say the beginning is today, is tonight.
Right.
And we're going to take you back and bring you back to tonight. And when we bring you back, give you a kind of like a sneak peek, it'll be from the other point of view. Now, this point of view was his. When we come back to that night, it'll be from hers. And it all line up.
Okay. So we're gonna go full circle and get a little bit of the hero's journey on the way.
100%.
I'm gonna need me some more.
Okay. I'm here for that.
But I tell you, I don't know if it's a hero's journey, because is she a hero? We don't know. Like, and as you go further, your opinion might change one issue and then change back the next issue. So
okay.
Listen.
Okay. Listen, I like me some good writing. That way
I feel right now at this point in time, because Al's my boy, and I'm like, okay, but I know who Al is and what Al's done and all of that, and you can't be that level of a killer and not have some reciprocal and some lateral and and collateral. You got all of that, and at any point in time, who's to say there's only one Tasha Thornwall, as long as Al been murking folks? So she might be the vanguard of many. There's a series in that if you want to do it, Joe.
Listen. All right. I'm catching what you're throwing. I'm catching it.
Yeah, I ain't want to say that. Let me tell you something. I'm looking at this part right here where Tasha is, she pulling up to the little, the other bad guys at around about the end of the book, right? And she clearly going there to go handle some more business. She clearly, boy, you want to talk about crash out. I'm like, everything would have been fine had y'all just not been watching TV.
Bingo. If the TV had been off, not to say she wouldn't have found out at some point,
right?
Because the world is the world, but she wouldn't have found out there and then. The TV is on, and the moment where dude shows up on camera, worldwide broadcast, and reveals he's alive because he was thought dead. He's Spawn. What the hell is Spawn? If you're a regular human watching this. And then he says that I'm here to save your souls. Now, you're the person been living underground, acquiring dark magic because you got outed 10 years ago, and you hear your boogeyman say, I'm here to save your souls? What? Right?
I got
like,
you can save.
So that's listen, that's a trigger moment, right? That's a
look here.
That's a trauma trigger.
That's an understatement.
Bingo. That's an understatement. You right, dude. Like, listen, it's not a Vertigo comic, so we had to keep it moving. But what that scene showed was like, because like, we're all human beings. Like, you can have a bunch of thoughts in like 2 seconds. You know what I mean? So imagine what's running through her head in those 2 seconds. And remember, she was there to acquire something from these dudes. But that thing no longer matters. Nothing else matters. And since these guys are scum,
woo, why not? Why
then
not?
they go. Then they go.
Head to a roll.
Then they go. Right?
Yeah.
And then it's just like
in my way. Woe unto.
listen. And then it's just like, yeah, I just wiped my itinerary clean. Like the plans before, there ain't no plans no more. There's only the one plan now.
Darren asked you a question. He asked you about who Casper was and everything like that. I'm not going to ask you per se who Casper is. What I will insinuate is that based on him, like, well, upstairs they call him this and yonder. I'm like, well, damn, that's what they. Well, how you know what they call him upstairs? Unless you connect to the folks upstairs. I ain't saying what your relationship is to the folks upstairs, but you do have a relationship to the folk upstairs.
Well, listen, that's true. I mean, Casper. So part of Casper is that Casper's kind of like the humanity, the little bit of humanity that keeps Tasha kind of like connected, right? But again, the world of Spawn was caught in the middle of a war between heaven and hell, angels and demons for real, right? So Casper is connected to the upstairs or the sideways, depending how you want to think of dimensions. But who and what Casper is, read issue 3.
He deep now. I see he got files on everybody. I said, damn.
Listen. So she don't, when we talk about like characters, I like to think of Casper as the Oracle, right? To like Tasha's Black Canary. Yeah. So Tasha's out there on the street doing the thing. Casper's the one, like, give me the info I need kind of thing. And you talking about, come on, we could Google anything. You like, so if Tasha calls her and is like, yo, I need to know what I can get to kill a hellspawn, right? You put and that prompt. This beyond Chat GPT. This on some whole other level. You put in that prompt, you gonna get all the associates. The same way you Google like Haley Atwell, who was just in Mission Impossible Final Reckoning, and Google will tell you people also check out these other actors. Right? Because Google search engine is doing association, right? So it's like, how do you kill a hellspawn? Give me all his friends.
I'm back. You said Haley Atwell. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Let's go.
Okay. Yeah.
Give me all the friends.
You summed it up beautifully. Black Canary and Oracle put it in perspective perfectly. Okay. That's the relationship with Casper and Tasha. Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That makes sense because she's got access.
That's it.
Real quick.
Yeah.
Are we going to get any more background on Tasha in the issues to come?
100%. Yeah. Yeah. Issue 2 has some major flashbacks. And issue 2 has a revelation that goes deep into Spawn history. And it actually kind of connects to the Spawn film too. When you read it, you will know what I'm talking about. But it's a deep cut. But yeah,
okay.
So every
super duper Easter egg.
Yeah, listen. If you know that universe, you gotta read issue 2. Okay, and listen, issues 2 and 3 got flashbacks. Issue 4 is a very important issue. And issue 5 is the aftermath of all of this, right? So we're just going all the way to the end. But issue 2 is a deep cut, man. Yeah.
I need that in 7 form. Darryl, we need that in 7-inch form if you're picking up what I'm putting down.
Well, they always give, and we have said this on many different videos, they always give great writers short runs. We want longer runs from great writers. How come they give us 5 and then we don't see you no more? Or give us 10 and we don't see you no more.
No.
Dude, don't they know that the writing's good?
Listen. Well, first of all, thank you. And listen, Celie and I, like, we delivered, because issue 5 is done. It just has to be lettered. It's colored. Like, that was scripted. It's like, so from our perspective, in terms of your technical responsibility, I'm the kind of guy that it's not done until I'm holding the book. But like, we did the job. And so, like, listen, the market has changed. Our administration's going buck wild with tariffs. Tariffs affect all industries. All the stuff don't get printed here.
Yeah.
It get printed elsewhere. It gets shipped, right? So it's like, it affected publishing just like it affected everything else. And it's harder. It's harder to sell the same amount of units. There's fewer comic book stores. So, people playing it safe. But come on now. Everyone loves money. So if the book sells hot, I don't know if they can turn the faucet off on money. That doesn't sound like Todd McFarlane to me. That don't sound like the entrepreneur, the EGOT of comics to me. So to me, it's like, listen, we got to do the best job. People buy it and we'll see. But I will say this, that, he and his editor-in-chief really gave us a lot of support. And y'all saw Image spread the word about this issue. Todd's people, Todd himself sometimes. So, this was a joint operation getting the word out. So far, all the reviews are good because, sometimes I think some people do these books and think, well, they coming back. They don't gotta come. No one gotta come back. No one gotta come back for no character. You writing Batman, you gotta compel them to come back. No one gotta come back. So when we wrote this first issue, we're like, you in or out? Right? You in or you out? You in for the hunt for Spawn, or you getting off the escalator here? Right? But come on, you ain't getting off.
Well, let me say this, because I think it's important to say this as someone new. Spawn fan.
Yeah.
Because you got Darryl. You got Darryl. Darryl is a Spawn fan. And I say this just to speak on your writing, period. It's important as the writer to not only respect, honor the older fans that have been around for that character for a while, but to do what you're supposed to organically, if you will, that attracts the newer readers in. What I can say here, when I look at this particular comic book, Bloodletter, what little I did know about, and not little, you honored it. You paid homage to it. So it made sense. He's still very much a badass in your comic book. He's a badass. That's what that is.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And as a toy collector, Darryl's holding up an action figure right
Listen,
now.
I see the Redeemer right there. That's the Redeemer. That's medieval, right? Is that medieval? No, it's medieval, right?
That's not medieval. This is.
Oh yeah, that's medieval.
So
yeah.
Oh.
This is Call of Duty special. This is Call of Duty exclusive.
All right. That's cool.
I'm loving the fact, the way how organically
Chinese Spawn. That's a Chinese Spawn and Commando Spawn.
Oh, all right.
So yeah, I might be a little bit of a Spawn.
Just a little bit. But Theo, you were saying.
No, just it's an organic writing. It wasn't forced. Her backstory makes sense, and I'm, as a reader, and I tell people this, we know what makes sense and what doesn't make sense. Forget that. We took reading writing classes, if nothing else, in high school. You took the writing class, you know what makes sense. And if you majored in creative writing, whatever, you know what makes sense. The writing has to make sense, and it has to pay respects to the character that came before. You can bring in a new character, but you don't bring in the new character at the expense of the already established character. This is Spawn's universe. So to bring her in, her story has to pay respect to Spawn. It's got to pay respect to who he was before, what his fans loved before, so that they can be like, oh, okay, all right now, okay, what you got going on now? So thank you as a brand new fan to the Spawn.
You're welcome.
You got me.
Listen,
thank you. I love great writing. Thank you.
Thank you. I will extend that to Sealy. He's at Heroes Con right now. He gets to be at Heroes Con with all the creators. I'm at home, but listen, I'm working. So, but listen, that's part of the job. None of these books should feel like inside baseball. Like you got to know the code, right? But if you know the code, then it means it lands differently for you. But you should be able to walk in and be like, okay, I can enter this world now. And you should be able to read the book and you could say, okay, who's this dude who was Baba Yaga, right? Who is the John Wick of this world? And who are all those people on page 20? Who are they? Right? You know what I mean? Like, so you can start going left or right now and say, hey, I want to know more. Right? If you're new. So that's part of the job, but, in the final analysis, a character that you're like, okay, I want to see where this goes. I don't know if she's a hero. I don't know if she's a villain. I don't even know if I like her, but I get where she's coming from here and I want to know more. Right. And then just on some whole other level, you don't cross sisters. Right? just on whole other level. Because you saw scene where she walks into room and dude uses a term and she's like, call me that again, I'll cut your damn head off.
Yeah, she did. Listen, right? I didn't even know that's how you pronounce. I didn't know that's how you pronounce that word. Because I asked the question. I said, is this when he say fuck, is he saying? Because I ain't never heard it pronounced like this.
Oh, well, that word, yes. Like we were incorporating like that kind of like accent, like what it would just phonetically sound like. But later on, like when she walks in and Dutchie says this word, and that word is how it sounds universally. Some words ain't got no translation. That's the word, right? And I learned a long time ago that word, that's the word that'll make a sister go page 18 and just wipe out everyone in the room. Right? So don't cross sisters. And that's it. That's it.
First of all, I could tell that at the very least, both you and Sealy were in sync because the artwork is incredible and everything. Like everything just put together and everything like that. But when she was like, I gotta get you to safety, and she thinking they there, and that right there happened and everything like that. I'm like, ooh, this ain't gonna go right. And listen, it ain't go right based on the second page. Like you know it ain't
exactly right. Like, because real talk. Let's talk about like writing comic books. It's a science, Now, when you get to a certain point, now it becomes like an art. But let's just deal with science. So, something that I learned some years back, and you think it's common sense, but not necessarily, right? Okay, every Wednesday, go to a comic book store. There's like 100 to 200 new comics. Now, a number of people walk in the store and they know what they're getting. And a number of people don't. This is their first time walking into store. We got Marvel Cinematic Universe probably sending people to comic shops. 200 books. You got the cover. The cover got to draw them in. They open it. They only gonna flip through it twice. which means you got pages 1, 2, 3. You don't get them by page 3. Where's Wolverine? Anyone got the last issue of Wolverine? You know what I'm saying? You got 3 pages. So that's why. That's why we start hard. Because you only got the cover and 3 pages.
Now,
yeah?
I'm gonna say this.
And you don't know when they're gonna invite you back again.
Bingo.
Wait, you ready?
Bingo.
I'm finna low-key be petty. Excuse me, I apologize, Mr. I'm finna low-key be petty. Now,
all right.
You only get one chance. You only get one chance to make a good impression. They're either gonna go through those first 3 pages. Lord forbid they flip all the way to the back page and you.
I think I already know what you're talking about. It's crazy. All the comic books on planet Earth, and somehow I think I know exactly what book you're talking about.
My bad.
So I'm gonna tell you a story. I'm not gonna name any names. I'm gonna be a professional.
Woo!
But all I'm gonna say is, back in the Milestone days, right?
Right.
Dwayne McDuffie was my first mentor. Obviously, one of the best writers and editors North American comics ever had, ever will have. And I think I was asking him something like, well, if Batman fought Captain America, who will win? He's like, well, Batman always finds a way. That was his answer. It's like, Batman always finds a way. I'm like, yeah, but Captain America's got the super soldier serum. He learned martial arts, all the fighting. He was like, Batman always finds a way. And he was like, if it's in Batman's book, Batman ain't losing. Okay? Now wait. So if I flip through a comic and the individual whose name is on the top third of the cover get their ass beat, I don't think I'm gonna feel pretty good about that. So that's to say to you, you gotta be cognizant about things like this. And to your point, you know, if you get me on the first 3 pages, I pay $4, $5 for the book, and then I went through all of it, and I feel like a sucker because my expectations got totally slapped up and down. And then you doing that with a very popular character at the center of $1 billion franchise that was created back in the 60s. You know what I mean? You might have some feelings. You might have some feelings.
A little bit.
Just a few feelings. So that's it. So listen. We're not here to emotionally okey doke anybody. Yeah. So
what you mean by wait, when you say I'm just here so I don't get fined. When you say we're not here to okey doke, you're not telling me to stick around till issue 3 to see what's gonna happen.
No, I'm not. I'm telling you, it's all one story. It's all one story. And I'm telling you that the thing that we say is gonna happen. So if we're leading to a fight with Spawn, we're not gonna get to issue 5 and it's gonna be like, well, I'll get to him one day. One day I'll get to him. Like some cowboy going off into like the sunset. It's like, no. By the time we get to issue 5, it will have happened. And there will be, it will have happened. Right?
I love our Friday night vibe.
Now, and something just popped in my head. Now, I'm thinking, worst case scenario. This is sort of a humbling for Al Simmons, if you will. Because, I mean, my logic, at least this is what, we're not gonna murder Spawn. Okay, do you know that was
listen? I don't have the authority.
Okay, and I knew it was something. I knew it was something like that.
Right?
For whatever reason.
I mean,
but we can make it.
Hey man, hey.
Really
listen,
bad.
there's a story to be told, right? But you can't, and the thing is, part of comics is we maintain the illusion that these are characters.
Right.
We write them in a way that you believe they're characters. Spawn is an intellectual property. Spawn is the tip of the spear of an empire that has encompassed video games, animation, live action film, toys,
Al Simmons is what Peter Parker is to Marvel, what Clark
exactly.
So what you're saying is it would be dumb as hell, irresponsible as hell to do anything that hints to the termination of that damn character. Is what you're saying?
Well, what I'm saying is this: like, there's gonna be pain. There's gonna be pain and suffering. Right? I don't have the authority to eliminate, but I have the authority to maim.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
I have the authority to hurt. I mean, y'all saw page 1. There was blood. Her name is Bloodletter.
Joe, you gonna leave Spawn with a limp?
Well, I will tell you it's gonna be a rated R issue and more blood will be spilled. I will tell you that.
I figured that. It's fun. I figured that.
Really do have him with that look on his face, like, oh hell, like, oh damn, like damn, like can we talk for a little bit? Cause the first page where you see him kind of like reaching for her sneaker and everything like that, get your ass away from me. And
he was reaching for his communicator and she stomped that, right? And she stomped that with her kicks. Right? And that's another thing. You like someone wearing a sneaker. Someone got sneaker game and going up against Spawn. And the thing is, dude was laughing. He's laughing, right? But you look at her and you're like, this ain't gonna be a good night by any stretch of the imagination.
We need action figure. I'm sorry. We need action figure.
Listen,
Todd,
you think you don't gotta tell me. Like, listen, understand the art, right? The art by Christian Rosado and colors DC Alonso. We could talk about that for another hour. But when we thought about the character, because you gotta think. You get an opportunity to kind of like create a new character in a Spawn universe. That character's got to hang with all the other characters. That character's got to hang with all of Daryl's action figures. That character can't be no dip. You can't look at that character and be like, that character don't belong here. Throw that character in the garbage. The character got to be able to hang. So you got to think toyetic. You got to think 360. You got to think the whole media circle, right? So she's got to hang. That's part of the reason she got the tats. No one else has tats like that. You could take off her jacket. Jacket got big symbol in the back. You could take off the jacket, tats on her arms, tats on her back. That's going to be a dope looking figure. You turn it 360, right? Like, come on, listen. We know what we're doing here.
Yeah,
we know what we're doing.
Because here's the thing. Being who we are, sometimes we say to ourselves, that would be a very nice looking action figure. Alas, there is no action figure for Bloodletter. However, Theo and I were talking about it the other day, and I asked Theo point blank, if you were going to make a Bloodletter figure,
he did.
What would you use?
Okay.
He did.
This is what I came up with. She would definitely be part of it if I made.
Listen, I like where you're coming from.
There's another option there too, though. There's another option.
Yeah, he didn't
The
bring
other
his.
option was the Vampire Storm.
That was it.
That's the head switch.
Yes.
Because she got the vest, and and the only thing you probably would have to do is get a different head sculpt.
Yes.
And paint those tats on it.
Now,
well, listen.
If I want to be fancy, that rogue with the bomber jacket.
Well, listen. All I'm gonna say is,
stuff, but
if somehow this gets manifested, Daryl, you have my email address. You know, I could just happen to send some photos to Todd McFarlane Productions and be like, listen, I'm not saying, but I'm saying. Listen.
Okay, all right. We gonna have to talk about that.
Listen. I tell you right now.
I'm just saying, like, hey, look here now. And then Todd owe us some sisters anyway.
Listen. Me and Sealy come into this universe. We're gonna give you something exotic. You see what I'm saying? We made her Haitian and South American. That's another way she's gonna stick out, right? Because she's got the culture, right? She's got the culture. She's got multiple cultures, right? So come on.
Need that. Come on now, Todd. Come on now, big dog.
Come on, everyone wants her. There ain't nobody that's like, well, Storm don't look like me, so I don't think she's hot. Everyone wants Storm.
I mean,
you know what I'm saying? So it don't matter as long as it's cool. And Tasha's cool.
Yeah.
Because we know what we're doing here. We playing for keeps. So that's the thing. And listen, my man said Spawn movie coming. And her background is connected to his background. I'm just saying. Right?
I see what you're doing. I appreciate it. Thank you. No, thank you. Speaking of verbiage,
that's already what we do. So yeah.
Speaking of verbiage, because I had talked about this in one of my other videos, and it's something that I did notice, and it's something that if you are just aware of it. She's black. She's black. She talks black. Like she's like this isn't a black character, but they not talking black. And I started, not wanting to notice it and everything like that, but it's to be appreciated. You can tell who's writing the character, if that makes sense. And folks gonna be like, Theo, no, don't do it. Because we're able to write characters that aren't black.
100%.
You know what I'm saying? Like we hear the words, we hear the jargon, we hear the tempo, you know what I'm saying? We hear all of that. We hear all that, so we're able to write the character like that. Y'all, everybody can't write our characters because you're not paying attention to the jargon, you're not paying attention to the lingo, and it's real telling to those of us that are paying attention.
100%. And listen, let's dig deeper. As a writer, you don't get that out. It's your responsibility to write outside your experience. And remember, Sealy wrote Grayson, and that Helena Bertinelli had some melanin in her. That's factual. And the way he wrote her, he was like, yo, don't cross her. Don't cross her. And when we were writing a story, this is Team Up. So her name that she used when she was on mission in Haiti, it was Tim came up with that name. That's a Haitian name. My man wasn't like, oh, she's Haitian, I'm just gonna call her that.
Right.
So it's like, listen, I'm a write it real. The neighborhood of Brooklyn I live in is dead center between Little Caribbean and Little Haiti. So I'm a writer real. Tim is a writer who knows his responsibility. You got to be able to do the work to write outside your experience. So that's it, man. It's like you put us together and we're gonna do the job. You know, and you got no excuse to not do the job.
No,
you know what I mean? You got no excuse. If you write in characters and Clark Kent and Bruce Wayne are interchangeable, and when I say interchangeable, I'm like, take away the clothes, whatever, just the way they talk, their values. If I can't tell which one was raised a la Norman Rockwell's Kansas and which one was raised like upper echelon Dr. Dad, then I'm not doing my job. You should know that without the costumes. You see what I'm saying? So that's it. It's doing the job, right? You either do it or you don't do it. You know what I mean?
That's fair. And to
do the job or don't do the job.
To those that might not understand what Big Joe, I'm gonna call him Big Joe. What Big Joe is saying is everything. The best way I can relate it is when you're writing a book that has multiple characters in it, to find the voice, if it's a brand new character, think about somebody that you know. That way the voice stays consistent. You're not working from this person to that person. Write the character's name down and write your friend's name down or the person's name down that you know. That way when you always write this character, that character always sounds like that person.
Yeah.
Now, once you get to be a professional like Mr. Illidge is and everything like that, the voice is always there. Your out experiences, you're able to bring those in and apply those to the character. So I can appreciate it. Thank you so much for this. Wasn't just a black character sounding like every other character. No, this is also matter of fact, everybody sounded like how they're supposed to sound.
Listen, let me tell you what work is. When Jonathan Hickman wrote New Avengers and T'Challa was at war with Namor, you were like, that T'Challa's legit. And Jonathan Hickman white. But you were like, not only is that legit T'Challa, that's legit king. This is a war of kings. They're talking like kings. They're thinking like monarchs. You were like, this dude did the homework. He knows who he's writing, you see. And that's the thing. Like, and you know, like, you rule in T'Challa and Atlanteans try to be shifty on you. My man told Namor, I will kill you. I will live long enough to kill you. You see? So that's the thing, man.
Now I have a question.
Yeah. And I think we got let's go for about 10 more minutes and then wrap it. But hit me with what you got.
Okay.
Oh, we ain't got time, Daryl, because you know what he wanted us to talk about.
My question is this.
Yeah.
T'Challa been around since 1966.
Yeah, 100%.
T'Challa was introduced into the Marvel Universe as a monarch.
Yes, sir.
Why did it take until the damn 2000s for them to start treating him like one?
Excellent question. Excellent question.
I read Jungle Action. That was bam. Don McGregor, he did his thing there. But then there were other where he only appeared sparsely throughout the decade.
I got another question to go on top of that because we ain't got the 10 minutes. We got to wrap this on up.
Okay.
What it's going to take, what we need to do to get somebody of your stature, if not you yourself, got something in my eye.
That part.
I got something in my eye. Hold on. I got something in my eye.
Okay.
What is going to take? What it's going to take?
Let him answer the question, y'all.
Well, listen, I'm going to answer both questions because they're the same question. They're actually the same question. So I'm going to answer them both separately. Right. So listen. Don McGregor, deity that he is, this is an example I'm telling you. He was the one that I would call the first elevator. The first person that elevated the character beyond the original idea, right? He made it like Shakespeare, like it was operatic. It was like literature, man. McGregor, white, still alive, did that. Why did he go down? And then Christopher Priest had to bring it back up? There's only two reasons. either people not doing the job or the assignment they were given was a weak assignment, right? So either you are not writing to the level that the character demands, or the order in terms of maintenance of intellectual property is keep as is now. Because you got to remember, McGregor had Black Panther fight in KKK. And as Marvel went further in the corporate level, I don't know if they want a sequel to that, right? They might have made a business decision to say, you know what? Let's just chill out a bit now, right? So then what Priest did in his infinite brilliance is he didn't question all of that. He applied logic to it. And he was like, I was in the Avengers to watch y'all asses. What, you think I'm stupid? Like, I was always the smartest man in the room, but I let y'all think y'all were smarter than me because I'm watching y'all. Because if y'all ever point your hammers and your shields at Wakanda, we gonna take you out like my daddy took out Captain America in 1941. Okay? So that's the thing. That's the answer to that question. Now I'm gonna answer your question. Like I say, they're the same question. Now, first of all, just to be clear, I am ready and available to take over Black Panther and bring him to a status that befits a monarch. I'm available. Now, until and if that day, I will responsibly write other things, right? But, you know, sometimes, listen, you gotta eat. But you know what? There's a freedom that comes with being able to, like, do something like introduce like Tasha Thornwall and flex there, right? Taking on Panther, that's a whole other thing. But listen, you know, another thing is, and it's just in business, and then I should go, is you can say no to any offer, you know. If you get an offer to do a job, but only do it halfway, you can say no. Because in you, you're like, I only do 100 or not. Right? So if an offer is made, it's like, okay, but you can just do this. It's like, no, we all right.
This is true. This is very,
that's respect. That's fair. That's fair. Well, we ain't gonna hold you, Mr. Illidge, Big Joe. Big Joe, that's what I'm calling you for now on, Big Joe. Thank you so much. Darryl, you got something else, Big Dog?
Well, I was just
I'm having problems with the volume now. Are y'all hearing me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. You're hearing me?
What up?
Okay.
Yeah, I hear you. There's a little delay, but
stay there. I'm gonna come back in 2 minutes. Okay? I'll come back in
we shall
2 minutes. Stay there.
We're gonna be here.
Yes, sir. Okay. All right. He's coming back in 2. We are going to hang loose for a second when he comes back.
What's the email address? At Marvel.com, okay to print.
This one?
At Marvel.com, okay,
I keep that in rotation, player. I keep that in rotation. Okay? Listen here. Rock with me, nation. Y'all heard what the man said. He said he is available.
That's what he said. That's what he said. That's what he said. Every hero is at Marvel. Now, let me say this. Let me say this because I'm being respectful. Those of us, it's okay. You know, black don't crack. Either or, Mr. Illidge, Sherilyn Eaton. I know we talk, so you know. But Big Joe say he ready and willing whenever there's somebody want to holler at him. So Big Joe say he ready. Now we ain't heard nothing from nobody else verbatim. We got Big Joe on the show say, holler at your boy. Holler at your boy.
Mr. Illidge say he available. So
I'll let you boy.
I would say, you know, like I said, M Heroes, all that. There he is. He back.
I'll let you boy.
All right, back.
Yes, sir.
What's that?
Can you hear us?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
I was talking to you through my phone. Now I'm talking to you through my laptop.
Okay.
And you look much more crispier.
Yeah. Okay. So, good. All right. So to basically answer the question, you know, just to do the tail end again, it's like I wouldn't accept a job unless I would be able to write a character to the level that befits them. And this is the reason, like, you could say, well, you're a professional, so if you're given an assignment, the assignment has parameters, you accept it and you do it to those parameters. But the thing is, if you accept the assignment and the parameters are limited, when the results come out, you get blamed. Right? No one's blaming the man. No one's on social media blaming the management. Right? Like, it's you, because your name in book. And so I'm not setting myself up like that.
So now, how does one artist of stature such as yourself walk into a place like, say, Marvel, and come in and tell them, hey, I will write this character, but I ain't gonna do it unless I get to do A, B, C, and D. Can a Joseph Illidge walk in and say that?
Okay, so I'm gonna tell you the real answer now, and we're gonna do real business here.
My name's D Real, so we
exactly. This is Be Real with D Real. We keeping it real. It's Friday night.
Yes, sir.
You gotta not ask. They gotta come to you. Because if you hat in hand, you got no power. But if they come to you, then you got power. Right? So they gotta come to me with sincere intent. And sincere intent is, quite frankly, corporate intent. Right? It's all the same, right? But intent, right? Come and say, hey, can we have a conversation about it? I'll be like, okay, yeah, let's converse. Right? And in one scenario, we're of like mind, and it's like, okay, let's go. Right? And whomever writes a character, they have to adopt a kind of hubris, as if for this time, this is my character. Because that's the only way I can write 100. That's the only way I could give it my all. That's the only way that I could do a run that when I leave, it's like, I'm dropping the mic, you pick it up and see if you could topple what I did, right? Not because of ego, but because you gave so much that you're like, it's not going to be easy. I'm not making it easy for who comes next, right? But then the second part, because the first part is you don't ask, let them come to you. Here's the second part, and this is real. You got to have the capacity to walk away. You got to be able to say no. You got to be able to say, you know what? I was born in 1969. I started reading the Avengers maybe in 1975. I've known this character in some way, shape, or form for 50 years. But that's okay. You got to be able to walk away from something that you, in your gut. It's interesting. My wife and I, you know, we're both, you know, we run our own businesses. We read a lot of books, watch a lot of interviews on entrepreneurs. There's this book, and I think the book is called Good Money, right? And what the book puts forth is the idea that when you make money and you're comfortable with the circumstances by which you've made it, that's good money. When you make money, but there's always some acid in your stomach, in your esophagus, because something just wasn't good with the deal, that's toxic. That's bad money. Don't take bad money deals if you can avoid it.
Words of wisdom.
That was a jewel. That was a jewel. That was a jewel. 100%. I'm gonna take that and run with it. And in that spirit, I just want to say, again, the man's available, but you heard how the game unfolds. So mheroes at marvel.com, okay, to print in the subject line, and you know the subject line is bout Joe Illidge. That's what you need to put in the subject line. Not about B-O-U-T. About Joe Illidge.
Apostrophe.
Whatever you're gonna put in there.
Apostrophe. We writing it right. Apostrophe B-O-U-T. Apostrophe. Get about Joseph Illidge. Hashtag BP. They ain't done.
Now, Mr. Illidge, I know you got to get up, man. So we ain't gonna keep you. And in that spirit, if you got to get up, we might well just this is a perfect place to end the show.
All right. I feel like that was a good wrap, right?
We done when you done, Joe. So if you done, we done.
I am done. I really enjoyed the conversation. I'm glad I was able to keep the promise we said on the last interview when Bloodletter 1 came out.
Yes, sir.
We were gonna talk. Sir. So we had the talk. And listen, if you stick with it, this is a ride, and we'll probably have to have another talk.
Oh, we're gonna do that. I ain't going nowhere.
Yeah. How about at the end of Bloodletter?
That's a date. Because it ends in October. So
that's my birthday. My birthday in October.
Mine too. So let's go. Yeah, we'll do it.
For real? What day?
23rd. I'm a cusp child. I'm Libra Scorpio cusp.
14th. I'm all off.
All right, there you go. You're Libra. Yeah. I'm dangerous. Those are two dangerous ones to be in the middle of. Yeah.
Hey, but you know what? You know what I know about you? Just from what you've told me, where your creativity levels are off the charts, sir. I know that for a fact. Your creativity levels are like 10 plus. So look here.
Still got shadow cabinet on the wall.
Huh?
What'd you say?
We still got shadow cabinet on the wall.
Oh man, listen. I appreciate that. You know I gave that the love. That was I was doing it for everyone, and I was doing it for Big Dwayne up in the heavens. You know that. So
Trust me when I say Dwayne is smiling on you. You did a damn good job. We are beyond pleased, especially us that was there like milestone day ones. 94. We was there. Yep. So yeah, I was loving every second of Shadow Cabinet. Thank you. And
thank you for putting this talk together on a Friday night, man.
We gonna thank y'all, Rock With Me Nation, for pulling up. Thank you, Joseph Illidge, for pulling up, and we will see you at the end of Bloodletter. We definitely going in on that one. Appreciate y'all for coming out. Peace out. We out of here.
Bye.